Afternoon, everybody. What a beautiful, beautiful autumn day in Alva, Oklahoma. Ben Buckland with Cade Kennedy. You know him as the Associate SID of NWOSU. And we're here to talk about some football, non college football, but a nice surprise, Cade, that we've got so many teams in around our area that are still alive and still in the hunt for the big gold ball.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got two semifinals going on at Ranger Field this Friday at 1 o'clock at Seiling taking on Cherokee. That's the Class B2 semifinal. And then later on that night at 7, it's Laverne and Pond Creek Hunter in a rematch from earlier this season. That'll be a fun one as well. That's a B1 semifinal. So it's nice to see. We didn't know if Northwestern was going to get one game or two games. They ended up getting both, so we're glad to see that. And that they're local teams as well.
Exactly. Have you've started to do a little homework? I would imagine. If you were picking or setting odds, what would you think on the first game?
On the first game, I mean, Seiling and Cherokee, these are two teams that they're both district champions. They're both 10-2. They're kind of 10-2 for different reasons. Seiling 10-0 in the games they've been able to play. They had to forfeit 2 games at the beginning of the year. Those are
really?
Games that I think they had an ineligible player or something like that. I can't confirm or deny that off the top of my head. But against Snyder and Laverne, those are games that you look at the schedule, they go down as 0-2 losses for forfeits. But other than that, they've been perfect. They've been getting healthy. They're getting there at the right time. They've had 2 shutouts in their 2 playoff wins. Both were 50-0. So that's impressive enough as is. And then Cherokee comes in 10-2 as well. Kind of a younger team the past few years. Cherokee people have been waiting to see. This should be the year that everything clicks, and boy, has it for the Chiefs. Great season for them. District champions, like I mentioned. Their game that they had against Cyril, I think, kind of really showed where this team has progressed so much. It's a tight game for the first half. It's 16-14. Cyril fights back into it, and Cherokee turns on the Jets to get a 38-14 win at home.
So good weather. Well, I'm listening coming in this morning to us, and we are saying that it rains Friday night. I don't know. We didn't get to Saturday on the forecast. I don't know what to look at. I mean, it's not going to affect the field.
No, but I mean, we're looking at a cloudy day, a high of 55 for Saturday, a low of 48. I'm just glad we're not playing these games Saturday night. It's going to be in the 20s. It could be rainy. It could be a bad deal if this was played Saturday night.
Wow.
Could be some snow. I mean, if it rains and gets below 30, I would think you start thinking about snow at that point, wouldn't you?
I'm not gonna. No.
Not going
no,
to?
I won't think about snow.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm just saying Saturday night it's going to be a low of 19 actually is what I'm seeing now. So
What do they call the wind?
they're calling the wind there 20 to 30 miles per hour, higher gusts possible for Saturday night.
So a guy throwing on Northwestern's field would want to be north to south.
Yes, and keep in mind, and I've seen this happen. Seiling's actually played in one of these games before. It was a few years ago. Seiling played OBA in a semifinal here, and right before the game, a front was moving through. Now, a cold front in Oklahoma in November can change a lot of things, much like it's going to do today with the colder temperatures. And I've never seen this happen at a football game where the wind, you see this wall of wind just come off the top of the performance building there where the football locker rooms are, and everything across the stands at once as this wave comes through just gets kicked up into the air. You see wrappers, you see trash, you see programs, everything just gets flipped up into the air as this wall of wind comes in. We had 50-mile wind gusts that day. It was impossible to throw the ball in general. You could throw it up in the air and it'd go somewhere and it would take on a mind of its own. And Seiling won that game, I want to say it was 46-0 because they could run the ball and OBA was a passing team.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
And OBA had beaten Seiling earlier that year. So that was, you get some crazy weather games that have happened at Ranger Field.
So what would you think Seiling and Cherokee run or pass or both?
I mean, they can do both. They mainly like to be teams that run the ball. We'll see, obviously, every game is different. But both of those teams, they like to rely on some of their key guys. And so most of that revolves around running the ball. So I would think if the weather does get a little wild, that shouldn't impact them as much.
One would think. And how about L.A. and the night game?
Yeah, the night game, Laverne and Pond Creek Hunter. I mean, that should be a fun battle as well. Laverne went out to Pond Creek earlier this year and won that game 40-16. We'll see if the Tigers can do it again with a chance for a gold ball still on the line, a guaranteed trophy on the line if you win this game. But that'll be a fun one. Those are two teams, again, they kind of like to keep it on the ground. You see that a lot. We saw that a lot with Winoka this year and even going up to South Bar, where you see a lot of that, just keep it kind of that old school football played on the ground.
And both of them have, or actually, well, let's take the first game. Both of them have a good amount of kids out for football, so they can keep some freshness going.
They can.
I don't know. Winoka played both. No, they didn't play L.A. They played Pond Creek Hunter.
They did.
And they had, I think they had 8 or maybe even 10 on the substitute line on the bench when the originals were out on the field. So a good amount of kids for that to be out for that small a school.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you can have a second team in 8-man, that is always a pretty good sign.
True. I'm thinking, we have emailed back and forth with OSSAA. Those guys.
They're fun.
Oh boy. I mean, they're nice people.
They are.
But the organization is really, really tough on people like us. Broadcasters, I mean. I think Banshay Ivan, who's our contact at OSSAA, I think he's a Pond Creek kid. I think.
He might be. I don't know. I've never asked him.
I think he won state. I think he was the quarterback and won and wore the number 1. You know how young Banshay looks. I mean, he's probably 40-ish now, I would guess.
No, I'd have no idea.
He looks 14. Now, when he was 14, he looked very unlike a quarterback. Very, very unlike. But yeah, I think he's a Pond Creek kid, and it wouldn't be Pond Creek Hunter back when he played, because that's been a minute.
Yep.
But they've had a good tradition, a long tradition. I suppose they've had some up and downs. I haven't followed them always, but they've been good from time to time.
They have. I mean, Pond Creek's one of those schools that they have continued to build that tradition, especially over the last 15 years. We've seen the multiple state championships they've got, making multiple trips to the state title game. And then Laverne, of course, they've been kind of a machine of their own for the past 20 years, where every year just felt like that Laverne Shattuck game. Whoever won that is probably playing for a gold ball. Whoever lost that is probably playing for a silver ball at the end of the year.
Yep. I just love the Allen family, and Tim Allen, the father of Trey and of Tanner, is probably as well known in 8-man football as Barry Switzer was and is in university football. He is the godfather. This is the first year, really, that he's stepped away from it. He's always been kind of a, consultant. When we were doing Winoka 3 years ago, and Tanner was the head coach and Trey the assistant coach in Winoka, I would lose track of what we were doing with our side, calling play-by-play, because he was next door through a porous wall advising offensive and defensive strategies, and it was more interesting to listen to him than it was to us. So I would be listening when I should have been talking. He is something, and an incredibly nice man.
Yeah, I mean, it is just the success that has been built at Laverne over the past 15 to 20 years. A part of that, of course, the coaching, as you mentioned, but some of the kids that they have, it always impressed me going out there. They're one of those few communities that every time I go out there, they're the nicest people. They're the kids, super nice. My dad's been an official for 20 years, and every once in a while he'd have something about, this team. And you keep in mind, he was officiating in Southern Oklahoma, whereas like some kids, are a bit more, I guess, play with more swagger, I guess is the best way to put it, where they want to argue calls and do like that, and they take after their coaches. But every once in a while, his crew would get sent all the way up here to Northwest Oklahoma for a game, and the first thing he'd always tell me is, man, y'all have some of the nicest kids. They never say anything other than, thank you, sir, yes, sir. We'll do whatever we need to do to treat everyone with respect.
And that comes from the culture.
It does.
And the culture.
It does.
I worked for Anthony's, a mid-range clothier, for just a few years in the late 90s. And Anthony's had 400 and some stores in the Midwest and did a tremendous amount of business. And then they sold out after 75 years. But Mr. Anthony had been retired and deceased for years and years. But I have seen tons of meetings come to a close from being contentious with somebody saying, what would Mr. Anthony do? And then they would decide along the lines of what would, and that's the culture that was built out there by Coach Allen and a bunch of other people. I tell you, a place that always shows that for me too is Buffalo. I love being around any sport in Buffalo. Kids, parents, staff, whatever, they're just great.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go way out of your way to be a pretty good guy. You also don't have to go way out of your way to be a horse's patoot. So it's kind of a fine line,
It can be. It definitely can.
Oh, and not with you. I mean, you're always sunshine and roses. You're our own unicorn, but you get what I'm saying.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Okay. So 1 o'clock, did you tell me?
1 o'clock for Seiling and Cherokee and 7 o'clock for Laverne and Pond Creek Hunter.
I have an inquiry in to Matt Adair, and then you have a young man that we have talked with that started school this year at Northwestern that's done some work.
Yes, that is correct. That'd be Cooper Johnson, who he was over on some of the Shattuck streams for a long time. And
Shattuck
then
boy.
He's been doing the sideline for Northwestern football this year. So it's nice when we can borrow 2/3 of Northwestern's football broadcasting crew to come volunteer for us.
For sure. Okay, buddy. I have one thing to talk about that isn't sports, but I want to get it up there. Actually, two things. Get it up there and let people know about it. One is Rose and Ben, always 11 o'clock on Thursday, will not be this week, but Rose and Ben will present to you Sounds of the Season. So you'll hear a special Tabernacle Choir and huge orchestra Thanksgiving show instead of Rose and Ben on the radio, and that's presented by Rose and Ben. And then we created a thing a couple of years ago that I've done at several radio stations around the country, and it's fun to do. We do a Santa. It's going to be on December the 13th. You got a calendar? Is the 13th a Saturday?
The 13th is a Saturday.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's the Christmas at how do I say Christmas at the Harvey House, which is the museum in Winoka. That's an evening thing and a dinner thing. But during the day, and we haven't decided when we're going to start it, probably start at 1 o'clock. We're going to do a pet Christmas with Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. Bring your pet. We like to think, because we're dog people, that everybody just has dogs. But you got a cat, bring a cat. You got a rabbit, you got a rabbit. You got a 50-pound boa, we'll need to talk about that. We'll need to talk about that. Be listening and be watching on our Facebook page and stuff about this promotion and the way you can sign up. we're going to take the first 20 because it takes a little bit to get a pet all comfortable with Santa Claus, and it takes a little bit to get Santa Claus all comfortable with some pets. And then we will take a beautiful picture. You'll have it digitally. We'll have a contest for who has the cutest pet, and put it up on the digital billboard that sits at McClure's. That's some sketchy stuff right there, but I'm telling you, two great minds are working at it. Okay, one great mind is working at it, and we'll announce her at a at a
later date.
At a later date when she's okay with it. I mean, she may back out on this promotion and go, "Hey, I heard you say that." No. But I think we're okay. And it's the real Santa Claus. So I mean, you're gonna want to get a picture with that. Yeah. This is no, one of those, real deal. So what do you think before we go back to what we laughingly call regular programming?
I think it'll be fun. 2 games on Friday on KLV. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. Also, while we're here, do want to mention Northwestern Lady Ranger basketball tonight at 5:30 inside Percival Fieldhouse. Northwestern taking on Cameron. It's just the one game tonight. And then also on Saturday, November 29th, we've got a doubleheader at 1 and 3. Northwestern women taking on Oklahoma Panhandle State. And the Northwestern boys, who won yesterday, taking on Emporia State. So a bit of a big game on the men's side at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Who'd they beat yesterday?
Yesterday, they beat Kansas Wesleyan 80-78.
So a pretty good bunch.
Yeah, I would say it was a competitive game. Northwestern was down double digits, rallied back, came back to win the game. So it was a big win.
Did you say that Panhandle is coming in with their girls?
Yes, Panhandle's coming in. That'll be Bria Beck, obviously, who was at Winoka, and she's gotten some playing time.
Yes,
she's played in a few games. She hadn't missed a shot all year.
Oh, is that right?
She's 1 for 1.
I love it. What a good kid. What a good family.
Absolutely.
A good family. Okay, buddy. Associate SID. We'll see you up on the hill.
Sounds good.
Back to it. Here we go.